You're watching Global News. This is Global News Morning.
Welcome to Global News Morning for Monday, June 1st. I'm Paul Brothers. Here's a look at your local news headlines. We begin with the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic here in the Maritimes. Over the weekend, the virus claimed another life at the Northwood Long-Term Care Facility in Halifax. This is the 60th death from the virus in the province. It's the 53rd death at Northwood. The facility currently has 10 residents and 4 staff with active cases of the virus. In addition to the death, Nova Scotia reported 1 new case on Saturday. No cases or deaths were reported on Sunday. Over in New Brunswick, just 4 new cases were identified by public health officials over the weekend, all of them in a long-term care facility in the Campbellton region. As mentioned, that cluster of confirmed cases in the Campbellton region linked to a healthcare worker is now having an impact at a special care home. New Brunswick had been able to keep the virus from care homes, that is, until now. Silas Brown has more.
It's a scenario New Brunswick had done well to avoid, but now a special care home in the province's north is dealing with an outbreak of COVID-19.
When we learned late last week that a healthcare worker who has been infected with the virus had worked in a long-term care facility, public health took immediate steps to determine its spread. All residents and staff were rapidly tested and steps were taken within the home to isolate residents from one another.
There are 5 confirmed cases linked to the Manoir de Lavallee Special Care Home in Altheville, New Brunswick, 1 staff member and 4 residents. All 51 of the home's residents have been tested, along with as much of the staff as possible. The 4 residents who have tested positive are in an 18-bed section of the home and isolated. Staff are on high alert watching for symptoms, and other homes in the region will be tested this week.
Moving forward, as of right now, the testing plan is to test other nursing homes in Zone 5 later this week. At this moment in time, we are going to continue to symptom watch in the current facility.
But as the home deals with the outbreak, 10 of the 28 staff members have left. At this point, the reason is unclear. However, Premier Blaine Higgs says people have stepped up from within the system to ensure appropriate staffing levels are maintained.
But at this stage, extramural have filled in. Certainly the Amherst, New Brunswick paramedics have filled in, and there are volunteers coming in the area as well. So it's well staffed. There aren't any concerns in that regard.
All 12 of the province's active cases, including the outbreak at Manoir de Lavallee, are in Zone 5, the Campbellton region. They've been linked to a single healthcare worker who traveled outside of the province to Quebec for personal reasons and did not self-isolate upon return. Currently, the RCMP is investigating the possibility of criminal charges. Because of the large number of contacts involved, public health says related cases could pop up around the province as they work to identify and test contacts.
So we have a 2-week period ahead of us where we're going to be watching very, very carefully what is happening in that region and also around the province, because we know that people have left that region since the time that there has been transmission of COVID-19.
Silas Brown, Global News, Fredericton.
All right, thank you, Silas. In Nova Scotia, public health officials are advising of a potential exposure to COVID-19 at a Rona store. The location in question is 6055 Almond Street. According to authorities, the important dates to keep in mind are May 23rd, May 25th, and May 28th. Public Health is directly contacting anyone known to be a close contact of the confirmed case. However, if you have concerns, please contact 811. The Halifax Regional Municipality have shut down some streets throughout the urban centres to dedicate them to pedestrian, cycling, and other forms of sustainable transportation now. The public had been asking for these so-called slow streets since the pandemic hit. Alexa McLean reports.
If this large sign in the middle of several Dartmouth and Halifax streets makes you second guess driving down them, that's the point.
Just try to respect the signs, slow down, maybe don't take that street if there's a sign on it and you're just trying to pass through.
We've been repeatedly told by public health officials that physical distancing plays a crucial role in slowing the spread of COVID-19. But fresh air and enjoying the outdoors is also crucial for both mental and physical health, which is where the Slow Streets initiative comes into play.
This is one of the slow street signs, and it's telling people that there's more priority for people walking, rolling, cycling on the streets, and they're asking people not to drive through these streets if they're just trying to get point A to point B.
In British Columbia, the city of Vancouver has already installed 12 kilometers of slow streets with the aim of increasing the amount of space for people to social distance while safely fully enjoying their communities. And that's just the start. Vancouver City Council is considering repurposing 50 kilometers of roadway to increase space for patios, outside lines, cycling and walking.
I'd like to see more initiatives like this. I think it's better than the cycle lanes because the cars still come close to you in the cycle lanes. So less cars and slower cars is better, I think.
As of now, Halifax has over a dozen slow streets, all on the peninsula. Dartmouth has slow streets in the downtown core and Chapel Street in the north. Jillian Banfield, an advocate for safe cycling, would like to see slow streets expand to communities throughout the municipality.
There's, historically black communities that haven't received this kind of attention. There's communities in Clayton Park where we have a lot of new immigrants who are receiving bicycles through welcoming wheels, and they don't necessarily have a safe place to ride them. So I'd like to see more attention to those kinds of neighborhoods and not just the peninsula.
Alexa McLean, Global News, Halifax.
Thank you, Alexa, for that. Moving on, police are still searching for a suspect after a man threatened to kill a gas station employee during a robbery in Dartmouth. This all happened Saturday afternoon at this Circle K gas station on Highfield Park Drive just before 5. Police say a man entered the gas station and threatened the female employee with a bread knife. According to police, the man took money and ran. The employee was not injured and police are still investigating. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. And finally, a grassroots march was held this weekend for a Toronto woman with Nova Scotian roots. Regis Korchinski-Paquette fell to her death from the balcony of her 24th floor apartment while officers were in the home on Wednesday. Hundreds gathered at Halifax Regional Police Headquarters to demand justice for Regis and all black lives, including George Floyd, who died while being restrained by Minneapolis police last week. Rally organizers requested all participants to wear masks and respect social distancing protocols. The event was organized by the Justice for Regis Nova Scotia Coalition.
I think that what was really beautiful was how many people came. Yeah. Right? So I mentioned when I was speaking that sometimes it feels like you're yelling down an echo chamber. You're not sure that anyone is picking up what you're saying. And it felt like we put out a message today and people picked that up. And lots of white folks picked that up and lots of allies picked that up. And it wasn't just black people here today. So black lives do genuinely matter to folks in Halifax, and we came out in numbers to show that.
Many family members of Regis also took part in this march.